Could we be standing on the edge of a massive correction? Let's find out. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm David Garcia and I have a message that I want to share with y'all. Despite me being sick right now, as you could tell within my voice, I just felt like I had to share this with y'all since the market is currently peaking. So a few things we're going to talk about in this video. We are near all-time highs. Another thing we're going to talk about, Nvidia finally reported earnings. In a week, we have CPI coming out, and soon after that, we have the FOMC meeting. And finally, we're going to get into what I'm going to do in this market. As of this recording, the S&P 500 is at $5,600, completely wiping out all the losses from the end of July. So what does this mean? Why have we done I guess you could say, a V-shaped recovery within such a short amount of time? Everything that is priced into the stock market right now is aiming for a rate cut. It's aiming for Nvidia to continue to perform how it has been performing the past year. And the current sentiment is that the markets are going to continue to soar. As companies continue to report earnings, such as Dollar General, they can continue to say that the average earner that comes into their store is not even able to afford the simple goods. What does that mean? Consumers of Dollar General are struggling. And on the flip side, we have companies such as Nvidia thriving, which kind of just shows how dynamic these markets are and why not everything is black and white. We have Costco soaring. More and more customers are coming to Costco. Does that mean people are leaving Dollar General and going to Costco? I am not sure. We will find out sooner or later. With that being said, it makes you wonder what will make the markets push higher and higher short term. Let's dive into the next company, the biggest player of 2024, Nvidia. We already mentioned them earlier in this video. We're going to dive into them a little bit deeper because they just had their earnings. Nvidia's earnings has been the most anticipated earnings of the year, and not just Q1, not just Q2, but more importantly this one, Q3. There was so much hype around Nvidia. The least I could say is that they crushed it. I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. If Nvidia had missed their earnings, we would be in a free fall right now. In other words, Nvidia is putting the whole entire stock market on its back. It continues to be top, bottom, middle, and their margins are amazing. We had every major player in tech buying more and more of their GPUs and their data centers. Now that their revenue is up over 100% year over year and their margins are as fat as ever. Is Nvidia's growth already diminishing? So in my opinion, Nvidia is in a current S-curve. If you don't know what an S-curve is, it is just a model to show how growth happens over time for a company. So the beginning with Nvidia started first deploying their data centers and their AI GPUs. Not many companies wanted them. And then one day a company started to buy them. And then another company noticed they're profiting off of it or it's benefiting them. So then another company started to buy it, and then another company, and then another company. Their sales are skyrocketing until they've plateaued. That is an S-curve, and they continue to stay flat. There could be an argument that Nvidia's growth will be slowing, but in my opinion, Nvidia will have avenues for revenue such as robotics chips, whatever it is. Despite that, could that mean that growth is maturing for Nvidia? I personally don't think so. I think that there is a lot more room for growth for Nvidia. I think there will be another S-curve such as AI chips for robotics, and I also believe that we are just at the beginning of the AI revolution. So Nvidia earnings are definitely insanely important, but that is just one piece of the puzzle. Up next, we have the CPI data coming out in a week on September 11th. Although the inflation report continues to downtrend, I think there's always, I guess, a fear that it's not going to continue to downtrend. I had never cared about CPI until it affected the markets this significantly, and I'm sure every other trader had also felt the same way. But essentially, there's a few outcomes that could happen. If CPI comes out higher than expected, then that could signal that the Fed does not have inflation under control, and that means we're not going to probably cut in September. Or it could be flat. I'm not sure if the Fed would cut if inflation is flat. In my opinion, they probably wouldn't. More than likely, they want inflation to continue to go down, which is our last option, so that they are feeling more inclined to cut. But based off of Jerome Powell's most recent speech at the Jackson Hole Economic Policy Symposium, he mentioned the indication that they are planning to cut in September of 2024. But this all comes back to what I mentioned earlier. The markets are pricing in perfection. The markets are also pricing in rate cuts. So with all these signs pointing towards a potential peak or even a downturn, let's dive into what I'm going to do. Given all the topics that I spoke about right now, such as S&P 500 being near all-time highs, Nvidia reporting earnings and completely killing it, and the CPI report just coming out a week from now. This is what I'm going to do right now. As the famous phrase from Kenneth Fisher, time in the market beats timing the market. Although there has been times where I've timed the market for certain trades that I've done, I've decided to change my strategy because my underlying thesis for the companies that I'm invested in has not changed. So what does that mean to you? I still see long-term potential and growth, and I'm going to stay invested. On the flip side, I highly recommend this to people that don't really know much about investing in the stock market, is to just dollar cost average into an ETF or index fund. Continue to stay in the market despite market turmoil, and you'll find success down the road. Tune out the noise. It doesn't matter what's happening in the market. I'm even to the point where I may even buy more ETFs so that I can concentrate on my main thing, which is building companies. And like I always say in all my videos, it is acquisition mode. Every day, wake up, tell yourself it is acquisition mode. And on that note, I'm staying in the market. I'm not selling. I'm going to continue to be in acquisition mode. So there you have it, everyone. This is why the market has potentially peaked or why it may continue to soar. Now it's time for you to take action. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are going to do. Are you guys also in acquisition mode? Let me know. Like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.